tree, and hopefully you caught some of that drone footage. I don't know if I'm getting it or not. It's the hover from Costco. So yeah, check it out. I came up there and I actually dug in and stopped. I was able to back up. I was in high range. I decided to put it in low and just take a different track. And I'm moving. It's steep. Let's see how we do. Okay, I do like high range better. Keep things moving a little bit. Seems to spin them more though. So I can see. Yeah, I was hoping that drone would do the follow me thing. It might just be too cold for it right now. It's like 0. Ooh, we got a tree down. We're gonna have to deal with that. Man, these tracks are fun. You can see them rolling at least a foot of fresh powder or more here. As soon as you back up, boy, she wants to slide downhill. I guess a little off camber coming through this next section, but I think we're going to punch through it. Goes around, but it should be fun to tackle, I would think. Let's check it out. Definitely pretty cold in the shade. I would think. Ooh, look at that. That's snowmobile heaven there. Yeah, that looks nice. This is pretty wide if I do drag ass end coming back out. I'm not worried about coming in too much. Should be able to track just fine coming down, so let's find out. So I'll walk down here. loud that it gets off. Alright, let's get the camera out there. Yeah, it's way over my knee here. It looks like I kind of dug into where I was going to go up here, which is not the way. I'm going to turn, cut that way, a little bit there to there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can get through this transition. We'll just put that like right there. How's that? Does that look okay? Give you a little more of that as we come into it. As you can see, it keeps backing out of it. It's a pretty good hole. Man, these things work good. Got good clearance under there. The suspension raised up. Nice skid plating. I guess they kind of come with that bracing. I feel like the alignment might be off just a little bit because one of my A-arms is kind of bent, but the lower brace still went on. I would say we're safe to try and punch through this and then just get back up on top again. It seems like, so there's not really any base from, there's base from the earlier snow, but not a lot of base there. I'm up on it here. Not a lot of base from anybody driving up here. Right here, maybe one animal track. All right, rear winch would be good, or another unit up here. Need James with me. He doesn't have his tracks on yet though. Soon hopefully. These are fun to push, holy cow. That is deep. Yeah. Heck yeah. I bet max clutching. I was at like 72, 7300 RPM, but I didn't floor it. Looked pretty good. The tracks aren't wanting to rotate. That one's pointing down pretty good and like something happens, you're just apt on these things, especially by yourself. Rear winch would be good to transfer my axe on that 4500 RC reduced coil. Get that sucker on here so I could lift up the rear end if you needed to, I guess. Potentially, if you were close to the right tree. A lot of times it doesn't work. Yeah. Things are ripping. Let's make it up a little further. I thought I backed right over you. That's the next corner up though. I like that this is in a little bit of a straightaway. These are hard to turn around backing up. You can't get that rear end to steer. The only way it's gonna go is like downhill. So you need like a loop, back it uphill type of thing. But let's make a punch through this big hole. Big hole punching. That's what we're doing. She needs to plop back up on top. Well, I dug down to the old skid plate. Let's get up here. Fun stuff. Let's get on up here. That's deep. Kind of committed at this point. I'd really like to get back on top, and I'm getting there. Front's up. The backs are nice and long, so they should come up too. I just got to get the right amount of momentum and flotation here. Maybe high range. It might be getting too twisty, turning and too deep here. I'm gonna see if there is an actual spot I can turn around from here. Let's get out and look. What do you think? I don't think it doesn't really open up from here. I can fly the drone up as it's charging up now and take a look, but it's twisty turning for a minute. And wow, it's deep. This thing sits high on tracks. That's crazy. Snow's right there, people. Hold on, be right. Let's get out. Look. Wow. Yeah, I'm backing this thing up. It just does not want to follow the twists and turns. But I wouldn't mind coming up a little further, shooting it up there once, backing down into these trees, shooting it into there, backing it up, coming this way. The other way would be to go up there and try and back the ass end up, but you can't get the ass end to go up. So you got to shoot the front end up and then try and swoop around. It's doable. Let's see if I can keep going. It's deep. You got to get up on. Playing the rears are not wanting to come up on. They will though. Knew it was gonna be a little tricky. I probably should have maybe restaged a straight up approach, I guess. I don't know, it doesn't look like it's that off camera, but it really just swoops you. And now I'm swooping that way. Woo! Let's see what happens. Okay, well, somewhere in the midst of that, which I did good getting out of there. I don't think I was too hard on it, but that off-camber angle, I can hear some clicking. You can see how this driver is in the middle. This driver, not in middle. And I really wanted to bring like a long pry bar today, but of course I did not. That's a long drive out of here on the road. She's not going to survive that, I don't think. Right here. Let's see if it'll keep going out of the powder, I guess. That window's clipped. It's got room here. It's rotating enough to get me out of there. And then if I get to a nice flat spot where it's not too deep of powder, I'll get some tools out and back off the adjustment and see if I can just lift it over into this right spot. I don't know, the whole thing might derail if I keep trying to move it and get all bound up. I'll see if I can just loosen it up right here. Okay, it was 112, 132. I can barely get that in there. So let's turn. Okay, it was 112 when I started, 132. Now I've got the track back in place. Let's get it tight. Tensioner on up. I don't think it was too loose. Maybe it was. I just put it in an extreme angle. Lots of weight. Like all the weight of the machine. I have paint marks on the axle where they were before. So get them close. Sure they're tight. Got quite a bit of road to come out. That one looks tighter. A little more. It's just beyond where it was, since this is going to be on the downhill side coming out. Now I just got to tighten up the main axle bolts and we're rolling.